This episode of Super GG Radio is brought to you by our Patreon. Patrons of the show can get our Dogs of Super GG Radio newsletter, Super GG Radio stickers to slap on your closest PC or bag, input on what we cover, game nights with the hosts, and even a chance to win a copy of an indie we talked about. Not only that, but 90% of all patron contributions go to the Children's Miracle Network of Hospitals. Visit patreon.com/superggradio to learn more.
What's good, Internet, and welcome to session 282 of Super GG Radio, where friends chat about video games and all things adjacent. In our troubled times, one man has come to lick all your cookies, and another to shout at your children to get off his lawn. Neither of those men are me, but I'll be your host, Eric Eddie Gettinger. Please welcome said cookie licker, Alex Arona.
I licked it, now it's mine. That's the rule. That's how it works.
You underestimate how much I want that cookie.
Ew. Ew, Alec.
I mean, if you're hungry enough, what's going to stop you?
Right?
I mean, I guess. It's like saying any pizza is a personal pizza.
You just proved that, Alex.
When did I prove that?
By licking all the cookies.
Oh, yeah. Also, I expanded people's mind on how much hot dogs a person can and should eat. The answer is more than you think.
The use of the word should. Let's just be clear to all people that are watching or listening.
I'm only getting more powerful, Getty.
That maybe it's not a good idea to consume over 10 hot dogs in one day.
You want to hear what's funnier? What's even worse is that how badly I haven't learned. I forgot how many hot dogs I ate.
This feels very, we're all going to go and put the max limit on this elevator and then jump up and down, and then when it doesn't crash, say, yeah, it's just fine. We can handle it, no problem.
They call that survivor. What is it? Survivor's bias.
Okay. Next up is that man who's yelling at your kids, Joel DeWitte.
First it was the elderly, and now it's the children.
Yep.
Yelling at kids for the kids.
I mean, let's be honest. Out of all of us, who is the most likely to go out onto the lawn and yell at a child?
It's Joel.
I don't know, Alan.
Well, no.
I've
well,
done it.
Hold on.
Whose kids?
Hold on.
I don't know.
Hold on.
Some random
Hold
teens.
on. No, the real answer is you, Getty. But out of Alec, Joel, and me, it's Joel for sure.
Okay.
Then Alec.
Yeah, but I've actually done it.
Yes, but that's not to say that Joel hasn't done it multiple times. You don't know. You don't know how he be living.
I think
That's
I've got
true.
my resting Joel face sort of scares people off before I get to that point. So
Exactly.
He's just see the face pop into the window and they know not to mess around.
Here he goes again. He's reporting you to the cops.
Oh boy. And last, we just have a cool dude, Alec Parks.
In the words of Zaphod Beeblebrox, I'm so hip I can barely see over my own pelvis.
I didn't understand a lot of those words.
Alec
It's a
is just
Hitchhiker's
chill guy.
reference.
Yeah.
Oh, it's been a long time since I've seen that movie.
He means read that book.
No, I don't.
Yes, he does.
That movie had Mos Def in it. That was the selling point for me. It had Mos Def in it.
The audio series is best.
I mean,
Noted.
physically reading the book, I had a lot more fun. But who did they have reading it, Alec?
Oh, no, they had a full cast doing
okay.
a radio drama.
That's neat.
Then that would
That's
be
cool.
the best way to experience it. For sure.
Speaking of experiencing it, I still have to ask, how many hot dogs did I eat?
12?
If he can't
don't
remember, then we should not remind him.
If you don't remember,
No, it just means that I have to push. I have to
Yeah.
have as many as I possibly can again to know what my limit is.
No, I think that
That's
at
how
this
it works.
point,
If I don't have a documented limit, then I can never match it. So I have to do it again to get my limit.
What about the competitive eaters? Do you think that they really just say like, Okay.
But you get
this is-
you get a PB every time. Your personal best.
You could
You're in competition with you.
You can have a personal best, but nothing
Yeah, so what's
is
my
gonna,
personal best?
You tell us. Maybe there was another time when you ate hot dogs and didn't tell us about it.
Well, I need to know what the number was at Extra Life 2024.
But is there another time when you've eaten an excessive amount of hot dogs?
Yes, when I tried to do the 999.
And we all know how that ended.
Yep.
You left after 5.
Yes.
But
But the question still remains, what was
baseball.
Extra Life 2020? I mean, I guess my PB can be 5, and I could push that. I could triple that.
he can triple that.
Yes.
Okay.
Little goals, small
Mm-hmm.
goals.
Small goals.
Just
Just a little bit of improvement.
small amount of hot dogs. I mean, what's living if you're not shoving sausage into your face?
Yeah, I mean, if you ain't living, you're dying. And sometimes, if you are living, you're also dying. Especially in this hot dog challenge. I live moss.
So you've got to down 83 hot dogs and buns in 10 minutes.
That's the record.
That is the world record as of 2024.
Well, like Joel said, right? Small, like you got to start early. Start small. 15 in 24 hours.
I feel like 24 hours is too much leeway.
It's a handicap.
That's like-
it's like golf. It's fine.
I don't know. All right. Just pretty sure that's not how that works, but yeah. This week, Alex reaches his second gear on Year of the Perv. We finally have no news. We reported it all, so there's nothing to talk about. The backlog becomes a place for closers. And then finally, Alex makes good on his promise to shutter the podcast. All this and more?
I mean, we can shutter the podcast all you want. I'll just make another one.
With
With what?
what? Is what I'm asking.
I mean, this podcast started from nothing. It kind of is still nothing.
Is it?
I can get more. I can get more than nothing. Nothing is easy to come. I'm swimming in nothing.
Are you? You have a
Kinda,
green
yeah.
screen.
I'm swimming in nothing.
Think of all of the applications of that green screen. I think that utilization of that is key.
I thought I did a good one by having a body double.
Well, see, here's the problem.
I could do it more.
You took an idea that somebody else had. You need to really be the trendsetter, Alex. And then when the big names are copying you, that's how you get the khakis.
So-
And you know what happens after you get the khakis?
Who
Then you
wears
get the money.
khakis willingly?
You get the. I wear khakis, and I know for a fact Getty and Joel both wear khakis.
Willingly. Like,
I mean, I wear it for work.
I mean,
so-
no one forces me to put on khakis. Like, no one comes to my house and shoves khakis on my legs. No.
Now I'm picturing that.
So,
It's a weird scenario, right? That's why it's weird that Alec brought it up that way. You're a weird guy, Alex, sometimes.
I mean, you just have to do it. It's not something you want to do.
Yeah.
No, I guess I don't do voluntary khakis too often.
I like a good cargo khaki.
Yes.
Cargo shorts. That'd be the space.
Oh, I don't know.
See, that's you don't mess around when you get the khaki shorts. Now it's the full pants. You really have to look at what pant options are available because not all companies allow you to wear jeans. So, I'll take a good khaki over dress pants, like really dressy pants, like suit pants if I can.
Fair.
So, I don't know. I'm a victim of circumstance. Maybe, do with it what you will. All right, early adopters. Early adopters. That's where we play alphas, betas, and games. Where I feel like Alex might have a confession to make. Alex, tell me about why you. No, the title is Why I Hate My Waifu Streamer. What provoked you to choose this game? And do you have a confession?
My confession is that I like games like the Doki Doki Literature Club, where it's an anime game that messes with you to the point of terror and frightening. And this does something very similar in a way that also makes me very uncomfortable, as like someone who's currently like in that kind of space of doing Twitch streams or writing for websites and stuff like that, it does like play into a parasocial narrative that also makes me a little uncomfortable. This is a game that's kind of a visual novel. You are somebody that is what seems like fallen on hard times and have taken to watching an anime streamer lady, and you interact by giving her money and then also like inputting conversation, like pre-made conversation prompts into the chat. And there are some real, you could be that guy, the real gross guy in the chat, or you can be just try to be like a friendly, like I'm going to connect with this person, which again also feels a little weird. But then you get little splices of like little negative comments here and there or about a bad childhood or something with that streamer. And then all of a sudden, like you'll get a flash and you'll see like a dead body, and then it'll flash back to her. And it's like, oh, something's going on. There's some sort of like evil here that's kind of horrifying. And that's kind of how the game goes. And you can like play little games to make money that you would then use to give to the streamer and get more conversations and whatnot. I really liked it because I thought that it does play in a way that you could be an uncomfortably gross dude, or you could be like a kind person, but either way, you're still like, there are people in the chat who are also just being really crude and mean. And then just putting in some horror elements in there. I was kind of curious if it goes towards different like avenues of the horror based on your comments. I did not go through and play it a second time as gross dude. What do you guys think?
This is apparently reality now, and it's kind of scary.
Yeah.
Just playing it, and you have to work, like actually work to get money. The game that they have integrated into it is like, all right, you have to connect. I guess you can change the matrix, like the size of this little puzzle, but you have to move all of these little dots together, and if you line up 5 in a row, 4, 6, however many you want to do, you can get $1 for each one that you're able to match. All the while, it's adding more dots to it, and it makes it more difficult because there's 6, 7 different colors. And then there's like a crazy wheel where if you spin it, you can potentially make more money, but it's a gamble. And then, as Alex said, once you get into the meat and potatoes of it, it's like, oh, give a gift. Give a phone, give a teddy bear, flowers. And this is something that we see for people that use Twitch. You can make donations to that person, right? That's what this is. It's a platform for people to express themselves, share what they're doing, and you can give them things. It's just kind of, to me, it's terrifying that this is a person that you don't know anything really about. They put on a face, and you're like just throwing money at them. I mean, I barely know you guys.
But the other part is like what makes me always uncomfortable is the idea of a parasocial relationship where you're just kind of like, hell yeah, and then like after the stream's done, you're like, why didn't she notice me? And it's like kind of uncomfortable.
But the whole idea behind it is, to me, is uncomfortable because you might feel like you're putting yourself out there, but is the person even paying attention to you? Yeah. So
and then also at the same time though, it's like they're talking to
50
80 people,
different people.
Like so it's like it's weird to think that this is the way I'll get him to notice me, and so that's kind of the thing when you
the next progression is that you can purchase the person things off of their Amazon wish list.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So after that first, like, you try and get in there, it's like, all right, $250 to purchase something, and I was like, I cut myself off right there because I was like, I played this silly mini game long enough to get like $120. Okay.
Yeah.
Equated to however long, I don't know. Either way, I was like, I'm not going back to make more money to throw at this person. Maybe maybe that will help you to get noticed, but good grief, that is Whew, a lot of monies.
Yeah, and like, your job, you've worked your job long enough to know how much I had to sit there and be like super I had to sit in a meeting for this money. Mm-hmm. It was not worth throwing away for like 2 seconds. That meeting sucked the life out of me for that day. Like, I felt soulless for the rest of the day. I don't want to just give it away.
I don't know. Joel, Alec, how's your waifu experience?
I hate my waifu streamer. I just didn't enjoy the base act of watching the stream and having to pick the dialogue options. I agree. There's a very big slime ball factor to some of it because they try to depict accurately how some of these communities can be and the kind of moderation that has to take place.
Yeah.
But it was so dry and dull and not much happening.
How did you feel about the kind of jump scare?
I stopped after day 2. I couldn't be bothered.
No, the jump scare was in like day 1.
Yeah.
I felt small. I felt like a very...
It was very,
super
very
quick.
small.
Yeah.
It was super quick. It's just more like this is here's your taste of what is to come. But I also wonder, like you said, with this tiny little jump scare in what you had to sit there and watch this lady talk and chat with them for probably the first day is like it's a 10-minute segment to get a half a second jump scare. I feel like that it might not be worth the time investment to get down to like, oh, I want to see what the scary parts are, but it's like you have to be sitting there interacting with this streamer to get there. And I don't know, I like it. I wishlisted it, but I'm going to read some reviews because I'm curious how much investment's necessary to even get the good stuff.
I think spoilers, it's a lot.
I mean, but Doki Doki Literature Club did have a long wind up of you doing this like dating sim mini game.
Yes.
But when the horror took hold, it just was.
There's more interaction with the characters. This you are, but you're watching all of these other people talk in gross or stupid ways on the internet, and you're just like screaming into the void. And for the part that I played, that you guys played, it's to no avail. So
I don't
know.
I don't like the premise of being somebody who's trying to court a waifu streamer. I mean, just being in that position, I don't love. But
I mean, yeah, like there are people.
You should feel
that's
bad.
Like the thing where all of a sudden,
I'm just.
Joel,
like
you have
you're not supposed to feel
like
good
grown
about
kids.
this.
Okay.
Yeah, this is like a real life scenario, and it's scary.
You make those kids sit down and play this and be like, "Don't be like this person. Don't you be this.
Don't be a simp." They're called simps.
Lessons for everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, Doti Doti Literature Club was the point of comparison, like Daddy said. And I think there's a cast of people that you're bouncing back and forth. You've got some more agency, I feel like, in that. And again, just being sort of a captive audience to this one scene. It's a little...
Yeah, and then also again, this is like such a slow drip feed, and I feel like Doki Doki Literature Club once it got going, it didn't take its foot off the gas. Like it was just go nonstop.
Mm-hmm.
In good and bad ways, yes.
Yes.
Alec, do you have any 2 cents to throw into the piggy bank here?
I don't. I got partway through day 1. And I was just like, no, this game.
I actually thought,
makes
I
me
was like,
feel
man,
bad.
Alec is not going to be able to focus his way through this.
Nope, I couldn't do it.
Even the game, if it was something a bit more entertaining, I could see it being manageable, or I could stomach it a little bit more, but it was just so time consuming. Like in my mind, I was like, all right, move this. And it's like, hold on, you have to wait. And I was like, move it. And it didn't want to move very fast. So I
And then that's even just you playing the mini game just to
Yeah.
sit through a stream. It's like you are literally not doing anything. Like if there was even more chat elements, but you're not allowed to like free chat. It's like, oh, here's a time when you can chat. Pick of these 3 options. It's
Well-
like I've been waiting for like a minute and a half to do anything.
no, there's a way around that.
Oh really?
Yeah, give more
Oh,
gifts.
Oh yeah, gifts of
Okay.
course.
Yeah, and if you
But I feel
continue
like-
to give gifts, then it lets you pick another option.
But I felt like that's the problem though. Like if you don't, then there is no interactivity. And if a game,
So you got to play the mini game so you can get the money, so that you can get the khakis, and then she notices you.
I got to tell you though, I mean, this is one or two. Like this is one of them, but this is one of the 2 games that I've also felt like at a lot of points, all of a sudden, I just was not doing anything.
Yeah.
And you know what that other game was, right, Getty?
I know that we played another game called Game of Fate 2, A Century's Promise. That's what you're talking about, right? Because the other one was very interactive.
I was handing you a segue.
So, Game of Fate 2, A Century's Promise, is FMV.
I love FMVs so much.
It is full motion video story, and it is this demo you could have downloaded in regular version or 4K, depending on how frisky you were feeling. So I did not play Game of Fate the original, but they do give you like a little peek at it, and it seems like your character was able to communicate with somebody in the past using a special
Cell phone.
cell phone. There was
Is
a
that
movie
what
like
that
this.
was? Is that what that was doing? Was telling you what happened in the first game?
At the beginning, yeah.
I thought it was just giving me really breakneck speed exposition.
No.
Like
it
it-
was
like
like
just, like-
giving you a
and it was like-
recap of the first game.
Okay. Well, it was. What was also confusing was that if you click, it auto skips.
Oh, really?
Right.
Yeah, and I
Dang.
was just like, oh, okay, let's start the game. And then I wasn't doing it on purpose. I accidentally clicked, and it goes, okay, fast forward to this next thing. And I was like, what? What's happening? Wait, what? And then it just kind of jumped really fast to the next thing. And I was like, I missed something. I missed something because that intro felt really rushed.
So
Was it fat? Was it rushed, or was it like it gave you a lot of detail?
it was a lot of detail, but it was very fast, and because it was subtitled, for me,
Okay.
I'm usually like all the programs that we watch now since the COVID times, Lisa's had the subtitles on, so I'm used to having to pay attention while the subtitles are going. But if you aren't accustomed to it, I can understand why it would be a little bit jarring. They do a recap of the first game, and then it's not really clear at what point, but then it's like this woman comes to your door, drops off a suitcase, and the suitcase has directions to an old mansion, and it's like, okay, I'll go there. And that's where it's like, oh, there's this crazy technology. I got sucked into the past.
Yeah.
Wait, you
it's
got a
like
choice to go to an
hidden
old mansion or
room.
thing?
No, you
that-
just went. There was no choice.
Okay.
That was it. Throws you into it, but it does like a recap of like the story so
Yeah.
far,
Yeah. Okay.
and then it's like I really feel like it wasn't clear about at what point the other game ended, and this began.
Yeah, it was very confusing. So it turns out your character gets taken to the past in China, in the 1400s.
Dude, I have no idea.
Yeah, I don't know.
It was there were warlords and whatnot.
There
at this
were
time frame.
apparently there's guns, so
Yes, very very basic guns, and your character has basically it is a choose your own adventure where something will happen. You'll watch a story play out, and then something will happen, and it'll say, "What do you want to do, A or B?" And then whatever you do, the story will play out, and then it'll keep going to the next scenario, the next scenario, next scenario. I end up at a bar drinking with a man, and then they poisoned him.
mm-hmm.
And this is very it's kind of a long scene of you getting there. That hotel lady seemed very flirty with me in a way that I was. And also, that camera was really hyper-focused on cleavage in a way that I was also
Alex,
like, what is happening?
I already pointed out that this is like you hit a whole new stride this week with the perviness.
I like FMV, and that's very clearly documented.
Perviness. All right.
No, but the one thing I was going to say is that the guys, when he dies from the poison, you give, which I also died from the poison, so I started, and it actually lets you pick the splits where the decision is made. I decided, like, oh, he's like, but when he dies, he goes, deliver this package. And I was like, all right, cool. And there's like, okay, what do you want to do? You want to start on the trek to deliver the package, or do you want to look in the box? And I was like, I'm going to look in the box. And it's like a human head.
Yeah.
And you instantly get arrested and put in jail. And I was like, all right,
that's
cool. This is all classic.
I kind of want to go back and pick all of the opposite things because I actually did pretty well for the first stretch, and then I died because I drank the poison with him. But the messed up part is that you play the scene where you both drink the poison and you both instantly die. If you have him, and it turns out he takes the poison and you don't, his death is so long. It is so long.
It takes them a long time, yeah.
It's just also like so goofy how long it takes.
What was weirder to me was that your conversations are completely different too, because
and
it's like he's like, oh, I'm gonna get this wine. You want some wine? And it's like, wine or beer? And he's like, if you say I want wine too, you guys just joke around. And then you have some wine and both die. If you get the beer and he gets the wine, he goes into a long diatribe about the history of China and is like real serious about it and how their country's been struggling for a long time. And it's like a whole big history lesson. And he's like, nah, let's just have a drink. And then he dies. But it's like weird, like the conversations were so different. It's like I understand if like the decision is different, but like you get a whole different conversation tree there.
Well, it's just like the Choose Your Own Adventure books. It goes to a different page.
Yeah, I guess. I mean that makes it's just weirder that like if I was thinking about it in the real world sense, it's weird that my drink choice will mean that we have completely separate conversations.
Yeah.
Fair.
Did you notice, Alex, because you hit that point where you went back and you chose a different path, that when it introduces you to any of the female characters, they have like a little heart next to those frames?
I did not notice, but that means there's probably a romance option over time.
Yep. Joel, you excited for that?
I'm good, thanks. There's too much time in between actual choices and actions. That's
where
the
I was
killer
going
for
with that.
me for this.
Yeah.
It's really well done. I enjoyed the stuff that I did watch. I just, this is something that you would see on Netflix when you'd be sitting watching and picking with a controller or something, or a remote or something. That seems to be better suited to me than a mouse and keyboard for something like this.
The other part for me is that I love the FMV games, but like you said, it's the interactivity, but also it seems like it goes really heavy on the history of China in a way that, like, while intriguing, also feels a little history lesson-y in a way that I don't know if I really vibe with as much as I would probably want. So I feel like I'd get a little... Like, playing this, I was like, this is all interesting.
Well, at some point, it comes off as kind of
like, just really kind of yawning a little bit. What?
At some point, it comes off as unnatural to normal dialogue or conversation, too, which kind of takes it out of the storytelling.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it's gorgeous. I'll give it that.
It's filmed really well. I think that the acting it's FMV quality acting.
I think that some of it's better than others, but yes. There were a couple of characters, it's like, man, they are just really killing it. And then others, it's like, this is awkward. What was it, Madam Wang? Madam Wang? Madam Wang.
yeah.
Ma Wang, yeah.
Uh-huh.
When she was on the camera, it was like, ma'am, please stop. Please. Because she would do like the really goofy faces, like,
Yeah. I thought the
judgmental
waiter
faces.
also, the waiter was a little hard to like, oh, okay, come on, just go away.
Oh yeah, he was really milking it.
Like, his job was supposed to be like the lovable doof, but it just got annoying after a while. He was like, oh, okay, let me get the thing, but no, not the thing. No, it just was a little. He was trying really hard to ham it up. And I thought
Here's
that
our
was
menu. Would you like me to read you? No. We just want these things. Oh, but did you see? No, just go. Okay.
Thank
more
you for
speaking
your
lines for you.
services. Be done.
Yeah.
Okay, guys.
You're not gonna wiggle your fins out of this one.
Game of Fate 2. Maybe we'll play this later. We should subject somebody to play this.
It seems a little silly for sure.
Unprompted,
I died
Alex
so
will
many
probably end up playing this.
I died it a bunch of times. So no. Maybe.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, but that was kind of the thing. It was having fun with it.
Yeah.
Like, let's get wild with it. Let's open the box and see the living head of a person in there.
The living head?
I don't think it was living.
It was not living.
Okay. Yep, so that'll take us to the last beta that we tried out this week. Not a beta, sorry. This was a playtest. This was Upstream. Hey, y'all like fish?
Fishy, fishy, fish.
Y'all like being a fish and having to control the movements of your fish?
How many of you all tried every button on your controller to think like, wait, no, something's not right here? Is that just me?
I
used
saw
keyboard.
that it said, hey, you should hit tab for the overlay. And I was like, I'm going to hit tab for the overlay. And it was perfect. I knew what I needed to do at that point. Every button, Alex, every button.
I was like, okay, there's go left or go right.
Yep.
There's got to be more to this.
Nope.
Like, what buttons am I missing here? Nope.
Go left and go right might have been kind of a misnomer. Maybe they should have said left fin, right fin. Because that's really more how the movement works, is that you flap left and right intermittently to move through the water. And so, yeah, I liked the way this feels. You know, it's unique. You have to be actually coordinating your movement in a way to make meaningful motion. And there's a lot of fun sort of jumping from pool to pool and figuring out how to get the right momentum in order to fly over from one state to another.
So this is more like a QWOP, or like, one of those where it's like a physics based but awkward button presses where you're flapping left and right, left and right, left and right to get forward movement. But it's also just super awkward to like line up and to organize your brain on which, okay, I'm going to flap these at the right interval and angle myself a little bit so I could jump. And they have these like impossible pools in air, just like a rock formation with just a little bit of water, and you have to jump over and into the next pool. And if you miss, you go all the way back down. It seems like a getting over it with Bennett Foddy type game.
Yeah. I mean, I think you're overcomplicating it a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
The physics,
bit,
is not that complicated. It's swim left and right. That's it.
But how do you get momentum?
By alternating left and right.
Yes, but that could also shift you in the wrong direction if you don't do it in
It's
the right
creating
pace,
that
or if you don't
balance
have
between
if you don't
the
have
two.
enough speed.
Whereas you're
What?
comparing it to QWOP, which is like the most fumbly, fiddly, wanty thing I've ever played. It's not quite that complex.
I had trouble with it. I definitely got to, like, I was at the second set of pools and definitely kept flopping down them and back to the beginning. And I was like,
what
get
pool
it.
number? What pool
Done.
number was it?
Were they numbered?
Yeah. You did fill out the form for the playtest, right? That they ask you very nicely to do? Uh-huh. Thank you. Thank you. So if you hit tab for the overlay, it'll tell you when you get to that area what all the pools were labeled as. Joel, did you have the experience to figure out which pool number you made it to?
Oh, of course.
Alec, how about you? Did you make it that far?
I did. I made it to the first set of pools, and I was like, wait, what is the actual point of this game?
Just, there's no point right now. So because it's a playtest, they're just looking for people to try it out and give feedback.
Yeah, and that was it. It was just like I got to the feedback, and I was like, I still don't know the point of this game. Why did I spend half an hour flopping around?
I mean, that's the kind of feedback that I gave too. I was like, I'm really interested to see what other elements you add, what kind of story you give. It's upstream, so I imagine salmon trying to get upstream.
Yeah.
So I got to pool 11. That was the highest I got to. And then, like Alex said, if you miss time or if you don't have the right approach, you can fall back down and you have to do it all again.
Rage quit.
Rage quit.
I did. Well, I didn't not really rage quit, but I said like I don't need to do this to myself.
well, this is happening. Takes keyboard, breaks it on the desk.
Stuff's
just like Final
nowadays,
Fantasy
man.
Tactics.
Just like FFT.
This is expensive, man. I'm not
He's
doing
got
that
some
again.
CD shrapnel embedded in his leg or something from that.
No,
He's
it's
got-
in my forearm.
He's got to save that money for all of the streamers. Too soon? No, not soon
We're
enough.
buying them bits.
Them bitcoins.
Give us some bits.
Oh, that's a Twitch thing, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Have we ever gotten bits?
We did on Extra Life.
Extra Life this last year?
Yeah.
Yes.
Some of Kelly's students.
Threw some pity coin at us.
Yep.
Joel, it's kind of weird.
Well, I wasn't going to mention it.
Put that into Extra Life this year.
Yeah.
There literally was a bank transaction recently of like our Twitch, and it was like, oh, by the way, your Twitch money has now been paid to you, and I was like, Joel, I didn't say it to you. I was gonna say it. No, let's get this on the Extra Life.
Yeah, I think that has to go back to the kids. Not
Yeah.
those kids. The kids that matter.
And also that'll be on that could be on your page.
Okay.
He doesn't need your handout.
I'll take it.
There you go.
Put it on Alex's page. I don't care.
Yeah. So we did early adopters this week. You ready to swim into a time hop for a break? No? All right.
I don't understand that at all.
We'll take a break anyway. This is the news with Super GG Radio. Now with more Joy-Con drift. Hey guys, you hear about that Switch 2?
Oh, yeah.
Now they're
Oh, come on.
no, it's Hall effect sensors, Hall effect sensor joysticks, so
Okay.
they will not have to deal with stick drift.
Sure, yeah.
I believe it.
Yeah,
And
that was a big debacle. That was a lot
how
of
do
money.
you feel about the way that the Switch remotes will connect to the screen now?
I think
That's-
that's cool.
It's a breakage waiting to happen. Kids are going to just, like, snap it off.
I feel like I'm right there with you, Alec.
It
Really?
honestly, the Switch stuff hasn't fared all that well over the years either. Like
Yeah, I would say the regular Switch I get. The magnetic, just like slap it in. I feel like there's much less point of breakage because there's still rail system. It's no sliding in and then lock a little tiny switch. Like I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
That always broke. Like, and what's scary was that with the Switch locking system, if that breaks, if you're holding your Switch up with the Joy-Cons, the main screen will slide down and fall.
Yep.
I had heard stories about people breaking their Switches because they were holding it like this and the thing just slid right out.
Dang.
Yeah.
That's no good.
Yeah, so I feel like magnetic removes any kind of slotting feature, like problems that could occur. I think that it's just a slap on and walk away. But
Well,
I could be wrong. Again, there's no. This is the bare bones amount of information we're getting out of this thing.
Uncharted territory as well.
The main thing would be that the prawns itself, are they firm, hard, rigid prawns? Because you could snap it the wrong way and you could crack the connector, right?
That's what I'm thinking.
The fact that it's got... Now, I watched the video just like anybody else, so the amount of information that we have is what you saw. I feel like the way that the controllers have this little slot in order to connect into your Switch station, I don't even know what to call it, just the screen? Are we calling it something else?
Screen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah, it's a screen.
There's going to be so much crud that gets into those two.
Oh yeah, for sure. But I mean, I don't know. Again, it's like one of those things that was always a possibility with the Switch, and I never saw that. The one thing I did see was that like weird bending in the beginning, but then that was a thing that never happened again. So
Is it because you kept putting it in your back pocket?
this was before I even got one. You guys don't remember. I was a huge denier of the Switch real early on.
What? You had it like 3 weeks after it came out. Didn't
Yeah,
you
but
pick it up on
the
offer
beforehand, from announcement till after, to like 2 weeks, I was like talking trash about that thing forever. Joel was salty at me. He's like, I don't know, I think it's gonna be awesome, and I'm like, no, that thing is dumb. It's
And then
dumb
you
as hell.
brought it to Dungeons and Dragons, and I got a contact high off of it.
Oh
Ooh,
yeah, no,
that thing stunk to high heaven.
That's why I got it though. I was like, you know what, Joel, I'll say that I was wrong on this thing. I'm curious, and then I got one used from that guy who it smelled like weed.
Everything smelled. You were like, "Hey, check out this case that it came in," and I was like,
I
hope
still
they
have
don't
that
drug
case.
test
It doesn't
me.
smell like weed anymore. That's so sad.
"I would hope so." It's
sad.
been like
Nostalgia.
what, 6 years?
I got that thing cheap though. I got Mario. I essentially got it for regular price, but Mario Odyssey for free.
And
I'm okay with it.
the biggest price was his dignity, but
Mm,
You can't sell what's already for free.
I was gonna say
Ooh.
it's not really. There's not a whole lot of dignity there. Anyway, the Switch 2, it's bigger,
Is it?
magnetic, yeah, and big magnetic Joy-Cons, Hall effect sensor joysticks. I think everything. I mean, everything. Like the plays Switch 1 games. So that's
Confirmed
kinda cool.
physical backwards compatibility, which was nice.
I think they
Yeah,
mentioned Nintendo
and
Switch
it
Online
has
as
to
well.
be digital, right?
Yes, they did.
Yeah.
What was that?
There is some sort of sensor where the Joy-Con is exposed when you take it out, because they did that whole gliding along the ground kind of thing with the Joy-Con for a minute.
Yeah.
So lots of talk about potential tracking motion, almost like a mouse cursor input option there. So
They had done that. Me and Joel had this conversation, but there was a was it the Lenovo Go? I think that the controllers pop out like a Switch, and they actually do work as a mouse as well. So this is not entirely unheard of. So it makes sense. Yeah, and then we get more information in April.
Yeah.
Big deal.
all right, who's getting it the moment that it comes out?
If I can.
I am.
Oh yeah,
Yeah. My Switch is dying.
Oh really?
Yeah, I can only play like Super Smash for 5 minutes before it overheats.
oh wow.
Do you need one?
No.
Okay.
because Alex has a backup one.
Yeah,
Well,
I do.
See, the problem is my Switch is hacked.
hacked?
Yeah.
Oh well,
So
But
if
I
I
mean-
have to start buying games for it, I might as well just wait the 3 months and start buying games for the Switch too.
That's true. I was gonna say is that you could probably hack it and then unhack it. Can you unhack it?
I don't know.
Not Easily.
Also, it's kind of a newer Switch, so I think it's going to be unhackable.
Yes.
Unhackable.
No, I'm going to get one for review. Joel gets every Nintendo console at launch, from my understanding. Is that correct, Joel, since you were young?
No, actually. The Wii was the first time I actively seeked out a console near launch. But since then, yeah.
Alex, it's confirmed that you're getting one?
Yeah.
Okay.
I said I want to keep reviewing games. I write for like 3 different websites. So.
Oh, I thought that you meant that they were giving you one.
Oh, no.
I don't know, man.
Nah, man. Everyone's in Nintendo jail.
Really?
A lot of people are in Nintendo jail. It's been a thing for a long time. I'm not, but most websites are. Like, I would say that there aren't many that aren't.
Probably us.
No, we have not done anything yet, but we also are not doing solely like a lot of heavy traffic as well as a lot of heavy Nintendo stuff. So no, we are not. We have not done anything to get into Nintendo jail yet.
Well, there's still time, is what you're saying.
They're also super temperamental. So yes, there is time, and we will probably eventually end up in Switch jail or Nintendo jail.
Okay.
Yeah.
For sure.
I could live with that.
Yep.
Yeah, so more Nintendo news, less newsy than I think, but you guys like Legos?
Yep.
They're fine.
You see that they got this Nintendo Game Boy made out of Legos?
Yep.
If it plays my old cartridges, that would be fantastic.
Nope.
You know that it won't,
Yep.
but
It's
it
still a
looks
pretty fascinating
cool
one
as
to
heck.
get. Joel, do you like this idea?
I mean, have fun with it.
Oh, you're not gonna get. Did you get the NES?
I'm Lego'd out. Personally, we still end up getting them. We got an NES from last year that we haven't finished yet, so it's one of those.
What?
Whose fault is that?
Not mine. It's not my project.
You're made of free time right
it's not
now.
my
sir.
project.
Oh, whose project is it?
The kids. It's their project.
Okay. That makes sense.
Gotta whip
I
them
don't
into
know.
shape.
You should just do it one day when they're at school and then hide it. Yeah.
Or I was gonna say, like, you finish it one day, and then they like get really mad at you, and then you be like, "Good, next time finish your projects, so I don't have to."
Or you could finish it and then set up some complex device that smashes it so that they then have to rebuild it
Oh man.
to teach them a
Now
lesson.
we're talking.
And that's even that's even worse because they all come in individually wrapped bags
Yeah,
for
Yeah,
each
that
section.
are labeled.
And so you just
Back in my day, back in my Lego day, that's not a thing that happened. You just got, like, Legos. It was like, figure it out, so you had to open all of them. Now they're so nice. They give you all these labeled bags, and you can open them one at a time.
Yep.
Nah.
Yeah, that is really helpful.
it is.
Yep.
Sorry, I'm just not made of tougher stuff, I guess.
I'm all for, you smash that thing in front of them and be like, figure it out.
Those instructions are easily readable enough.
Yeah, they're not building IKEA furniture here. It's a Lego
yeah,
SNES.
you don't want to get another Flarfenhugen. I still have extra screws somewhere.
Do you guys save your hex keys?
Yep.
No, I just have a
Pile
set of hex
sometimes?
keys.
I also have a set of hex keys, so I don't necessarily need to keep all of them,
Okay.
but I still do.
Okay.
Still do.
This is important. What people
Like
do
my
with them.
one for my kitchen table and chairs is in a bowl, like on my counter at all times. The junk bowl.
Yeah. All right.
Yep.
So that's that one, and then we've also got. I'll save that one for last. Lunar Remastered, April 18th. There's a date.
It's pronounced
Oh
Lunar.
yeah,
You going for that, Alec?
Oh,
Yeah,
he
I
already
am.
has it. It's in his cart.
no, it's physical copies are Amazon exclusive, I guess.
Interesting.
Are you
Uh,
going to get a physical copy?
No,
Okay.
I'm getting it on Steam so I can play it on my Steam Deck.
I will probably be getting a physical copy. The problem I have, though, is that there was a podcast, Big Brother the Site Phil, had pointed out to me that they had the localization team, and they had kind of really... It sounded like they had not been given a lot of... They were not giving positive feedback on the Lunar remaster, that it really wasn't localized well, or that it was just kind of a slap a new coat of paint and shove it out the door without a whole lot of bells and whistles and a good localization. So I will probably still get a physical copy, but it's just a bummer. I was excited for the announcement, but after hearing stuff like that, I am not excited for this.
Bummer.
When are you going to get your copy?
Oh, I don't know if it's a day one Arona thing, unless there's like a shortage. If there's like, we're only putting out a certain number of copies, then yeah, I'll jump on that day one. But I don't. Lunar has just got a really special place in my heart as one of those JRPGs I grew up with. Right, Sega CD.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Sega CDs is the best version.
My brother had the big box. It was like this big.
Yeah.
All right.
Classic, and it was definitely a grindy. You're gonna sit here and just fight the same monsters to level up to fight the boss. Like it's not easy.
Yep. That's why it's weird to me. I don't know why you'd want to subject yourself to that.
Well, again, I would buy it to have it, not to necessarily beat it.
Or play it.
I beat it once.
This is a game he's buying to intentionally keep in the shrink wrap.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. I've done that with a couple games.
Speaking of shrink wrap. No, not really. Maybe? I don't know. We'll find out when we actually watch the movie. Until Dawn trailer released. Y'all see this?
Yes, this was part of CES when Sony was just hyping up all of their television stuff. This is it looks really good. It's definitely a horror movie with some body horror and some other types of horror, but I think that what's cool is that they find a way to use the mechanic of your choices matter, and if you make a mistake and kill a teen, you can always just play it again and make a new choice. And they found a way to make that into a movie, and that's cool.
We have to go see this, don't we?
Yep. I mean, you don't have to do anything. I'm going to see it in theaters.
Yeah, but we have a standing date for all of the video game movies.
I mean, yes, I would definitely see that 100%.
Unless they make another Assassin's Creed and then you're on your own.
Yeah, that last one, they even had Michael Fassbender, and he just was boring.
Sure was a movie.
Anyway,
Anyway,
at least it could have been Prince of Persia with like a wisecracking Jake Gyllenhaal.
shirtless too.
He was ripped.
He didn't like shirts in that movie.
Could tell. Playing that Prince of Persia and the Lost Crown.
That's good.
It's a good game.
Probably have to talk about it at some point.
Want to shoot for next week?
I don't know that I've played enough of mine. How about you guys?
I will follow the leader on this. You tell me when we need it done by, and then I'll do my best.
Could do 2 weeks.
First week of February.
All right.
How's that sound?
Cool. Sounds good to me. We talk about our white elephant gifts. Alec?
Where is the calendar?
Sure. I've
Cool.
played a fair amount.
You have to beat a boss.
I don't know if that's going to happen, man. These
have
are
to.
hard.
I'm sorry.
Don't
No,
be
it's
sorry.
good.
Don't be sorry. Make him suffer.
He'll get it. Don't worry. He's just got to find his aha moment.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, and then the last thing is looks like a link to a website called PC Gamer, and they are reporting that players are still finding edge case Baldur's Gate 3 scenes, like one where you play as a kidnapped Astarion, even if you made your own player character. Okay.
So the idea is that your character can somehow get kidnapped by vampires, and then there's a whole cutscene where you're just having conversations with a bunch of vampires. But it's just interesting that there are still things that players are finding that, like, oh yeah, they found another scenario that no one has played yet. Like there is a hidden cutscene that people haven't seen yet because the game is so big.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about that, Joel, in your current playthrough?
I mean, the few times we've done rounds with Heartwood, he said to me, "Oh, I've never had that happen before." So, I mean, even someone like him who's been doing it since early access is still finding a whole new slate of things that he didn't notice before or didn't realize could happen. That game seems almost limitless in the ways you could approach it and the things you could do in that game. The perception of that is pretty amazing.
Couldn't agree more. All right, so that was news items. Do we want to do freebies for the week?
Yep, I'm ready.
Are you?
Yep.
All right, so let's do freebies. Freebies?
Insert freebie sound here.
Freebies.
Freebies! All right, the first one up is Escape Academy over on the Epic Game Store.
Ever want to play a bunch of escape rooms that with a storyline? Ever want to play a game that Joel will never, ever beat? Escape Academy.
That's just mean.
That's also true of many games, so it doesn't hurt my feelings as much as you might think.
It's a very fun game of a bunch of different escape rooms, and there's some quirky story in there where you end up being part of the Escape Academy, a very illustrious escape room university.
Yeah, they got the premise set up to where you can have a lot of zany or interesting different backdrops. Even when we were at Game Fest, they had us demo out a diner in the past that you go to and solve puzzles in. Very well put together puzzles. You know, lots of good crutches if you struggle with that kind of stuff too. It's good. It's good.
Yeah.
Nice. Next one has been free for a little bit now, but check it out. It's Warframe 1999 on Steam.
Yep. This is the stopgap between Warframe and what was the game? Warglaive? No, something glaive.
Dark Sector.
Dark Sector. Yeah, Dark Sector and Warframe. There is an in between that story that connects them, but it's still a free to play shooter. More Warframe. Good stuff.
Just for you. Next one, eFootball on Steam.
This is a football, like a soccer game. The reason why I put this on here, Getty, is because they just released their crossover with Captain Tsubasa.
Okay, there we go.
You can get that hot Captain Tsubasa action.
Yeah. That's real nice. All right, 16 Undead on Steam.
16 Undead is a driving game, drive like hell, a high-octane chase through the endless desert, dodge cops, rock out, and tear up the road as a stitched-up teenager Frankenstein. A teenage Frankenstein. Drinking and smoking and driving, all not great ideas. But this guy is driving buck wild through the desert, running from the police.
Hold on. He's a Frankenstein, like a Frankenstein's monster, or he's like
Frankenstein's monster,
Frankenstein's kid? Because that's like
it's a Frankenstein's monster situation, like a zombie, but stitched up corpses. But at the same time, yes, they definitely need to fix this copy. It's Frankenstein's monster. Come on, guys.
Yeah, come on. All right. We have An Outland Village on Steam.
Father and mother visited their daughter's home in Beijing to discuss their father's understanding of life. It's a weird sentence. And memories of their past relationship with their mother. The story of Chinese families. This is more of a visual novel, but the artwork looks really stunning. It looks straight out of paintings. It's really just like a really beautiful hand-drawn artwork with a lot of dialogue and discussion, but more about just Chinese family culture.
All right. Next is Infinity Nikki on the PlayStation Network.
Yeah, if you ever want to play Stardew but have Japanese waifus in full 3D and beautifully rendered, Infinity Nikki.
Wow.
Thumbs up.
Last one, Gorilla Tag, PlayStation Network VR.
I believe this is free on every VR, including MetaQuest, but Gorilla Tag, use your arms to move like gorillas and play online with your friends.
And slap them, right?
Yep, and also play online with probably casual racists. That's just what I've heard in the field. Heard from the field.
But that's like everybody playing online.
Yeah, I literally reported 2 people on Marvel Rivals last night who were casual racists.
Oh, I bet.
I feel like they were probably more than casual at that point.
Yes, they were. Well,
Okay.
I mean, we were playing.
Are they ranked
Say-
racists?
No, we were there. No, I got Joel on that because I said we're casual racists. We weren't in rank. We weren't in comp.
Ooh. That just gave me indigestion. All right.
Joel got really got about that one.
Let's see. We did all the news. There's no more news left. We never have to come back to the news, so we're taking a break now from the news.
All right, shall we come back?
Yeah, I guess.
We can.
All right.
Do we need to?
Well, we need to wrap it up at some point. Whether we just say we're done or we finish up the episode, I don't care.
Finish up the episode.
Well, now we have to finish it.
We could just end it on I'm done. That'd be fun.
Anything worth doing? Though I did lose the episode doc. Oh, here it is. I found it.
No, you don't need it.
Anything worth doing is doing right.
No. Don't have to do anything right. I was told that life is like 90% just showing up.
It is.
What's the other 10?
Hard work and perspiration.
Smurferation?
Speaking of perspiration,
You sweaty?
playing Frostpunk made me kind of sweaty.
Okay.
Did we
don't
say
have
we're
to
back?
do any? We don't have to do any intro to the segment or like
And we're
delineate
back.
this.
Back
This
with the
from-
Backlog Blog, where we played
No,
games.
it's over. It's over.
No, we don't need to do any of this anymore. We can just hop
backlogged it up.
on to the end
Backlogged
of the
stuff.
episode now.
Alec took us off
broken
the air
the
for
chain.
a second.
Did he
We're
really?
free now.
No.
Or did it? Oh yeah.
Did it hiccup?
Maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah, it did.
Oh, weird.
That's fine.
Anyway,
None of this matters. We're back. We're back with the Backlog Blog where we play games. I don't know, Alex. You tell me, is Party on Hollow Grave shorter than a major motion picture film?
what?
I think that question
How
was
long-
pretty clear.
Yeah.
That's a weird question. No,
No.
it's longer than that.
Okay.
Party on Hollow Grave. I met the developer hanging out over at the with some of the guys from Indie City Games. Lovely person that it's fun to hang out with, and they had mentioned that they made a game, and I was like, oh, okay, cool. So they showed it to me on Steam, and I was like, well, I like to support the indie devs, and I want to check this out. They go by Vassum. Party on Hallow Grove. It is a pixel art SNES style game where you are going around as a cat person who is going to a birthday party for Death, and all of his friends are monsters. You're in the monster world, friends with a Frankenstein and a Dracula and a mummies and all that stuff. And your job is to go throughout Death's mansion, cleaning up for the party, getting things like ingredients for the punch, and getting all the party guests to stop being obnoxious, et cetera, and setting up for Death's party. It's very go around, use items to interact with other items to unlock new items. I really liked it. It's mostly for the characters. Everyone is very quirky and silly. There's a bunch of zombies that are just like hanging out on a bench smoking weed, and they're just like really baked stoner dudes. And you're talking to the zombies, and at one point they're like, "Why are you guys all the way in this like enchanted forest in the backyard?" They're like, "Death's got a no smoking rule inside, so we respect the Death, man. That guy's a bro. We just want to get a little stony here and just hang out." Just stuff like that. Really, I think the mummy was locked inside of a bathroom, and because the handle fell off, and you get him out, and he's like, "That was so embarrassing." So everyone's got a really good like personality to them that I really enjoyed. And then at the end, it kind of goes into it's really lighthearted, very charming. But then at the end, it kind of goes into a really dark kind of existential question about friendships that I thought was like really out there. Like I was completely shocked, and there's no preamble for that, but at the same time it's still pretty fun. And at the end of the day, I was there for the characters. I was there to hang out with my bros, and all of them were super fun to be around in their own varied ways. There's a Tinkerbell who just loves getting wine drunk, and that's pretty fun. I identified with pretty much a lot of the cast of characters, except for there were a couple that everyone's like, "Oh, that guy's a douche. We're just not going to hang out with them." And the guy's like, "What? I could be cool at the party." They're like, "No, you're a douche." It was a scarecrow. It was a scarecrow that they're like, "No, you are not invited. Goodbye." So
was he? Did you figure it out?
Oh,
is he a bad scarecrow? Yeah.
He was a douche. Yeah, he was a douche. But there was a couple. There was, I believe, one ghost who was a DJ, and you had to teach him how to respect people, so he's not just harassing them with like come-ons. And at the end of the day, like he's at the party and he's like, "You guys are right. People like me. Respecting people rules." I was like, "Yeah, this is pretty all right. You're not wrong, man." So I think that it does a really good job with the characterization. It does. There's sometimes a little silliness there where I'm like, I don't know, that sounds a little unnatural as far as the conversations. But for the most part, I fell in love with most everybody in that game. So Party at Hallow Grove was one for me that I think I was pleasantly surprised, and I was like, oh, this is just this nice little thing I needed. These characters are cool, and I want to hang out with them. So.
All right. Sounds interesting. I like the art style. I'm looking at it, the Steam page right now.
Yeah, I would recommend it. I think that there was a lot of heart there, and I think that like just getting to know these characters, you could find somebody at any time where you're like, that's my guy. I'm on board with this character. He seems to be the one that's kind of speaks to me.
All right. Joel played a game.
I did.
And we both played this game. He just played it significantly better than me.
Frostpunk?
Yeah, do we want to talk about that this week?
Sure.
I mean, yeah. Joel, I don't know how much more I'm going to play this.
I'm being more mindful of your schedule and your plans for this evening than that here.
Whoa.
Frostpunk. Yeah, we won't go into that any further.
Oh no, he's got a TED Talk. He's prepared. He's prepared. He's got.
Did he really?
No.
Yes.
What happened?
No.
What happened is that he was talking about how much he was struggling with it, and I had time yesterday afternoon and just said, "Hey, I'll go on stream and just show you how I start a match of this." And the second attempt I tried, I basically took on the first scenario or main mission of the story they've got and did the first hour and a half and sort of tutorialized it for him. And then, and then I said, thanks for coming to my TED Talk. But no.
Well, that's just helpful. Thank you.
Frostpunk is a I guess, base builder / survival sim game. There's a forever winter that happened. You're in London, or you are leaving London to set out and try to find a spot where you and your crew are trying to just set up a new civilization and sort of survive. There are these things called steam cores that are the central hub of each of the places that you start from, which emits heat. And then
It's basically like a plane engine in the middle of your city.
yeah, kind of. Yeah, it's it's something that and they do a really great job of describing stuff in the kind of ramshackle. You're throwing together parts and bits and bobs to try to just get this stuff to work to survive. But everything is very, very, very bleak in this game. Usually you'll start with like 50 people, and then what'll happen is you'll create gathering resource spaces to pick up litter on the ground for like wood and steel and coal. The coal powers a generator and any heat source, and then you need the steel and the wood in order to build all the other structures. And you are almost always in a game of just scraping by for these materials. So there's rarely a point where you feel like I've really got ahead. For the most part, when I've been playing, it's been I'm putting one track in front of the other to just try to get enough coal to get through the night in order so that the next day I can research and upgrade that'll let me upgrade my coal mine so it can have better output. But I didn't look at this long enough. Now I've got problems with getting enough food, and now I need to figure out how to take care of that. And it is a lot of series of whack-a-moles when you start off, and it really nagged at me because I knew that there was a formula, right? Like I saw it playing around with this enough times where I just realized, okay, like these people can survive one night if I don't build them tents, and so instead I'll build these gathering hubs out here and then have them all work the first day, and then I'll build all the pieces around the living space, and then I'll build the huts. And it's a big game of stretching the limit of what your resources as well as your people can do without breaking them, because they can die from overwork, from not eating or getting enough food, from being too cold. Sometimes sicknesses will sort of roil over, and then you can choose to enact laws, and one can be something like duels, so people will die from duels. And the laws you enact are a big piece of what makes this tough, because it'll be like a branching tree skill set, and it'll be one of two choices for each branch. For example, one will be put the kids to work, have child labor, versus the other one will be having children houses where basically it's like schools instead. And the benefit being that...
Or like you could have like 24-hour work shifts.
Right. You can have 24-hour work shifts, and then you can have an extended work shift. But most of them also have a downstream branch on top of that. So it'll be like, if I chose to do child labor, the first upgrade is just for the safe jobs. And then you can do the next upgrade, say that they can be on any job. It reduces morale and hope, which are meters.
There's a meter of morale, like there's a meter of hope, and then there's a
discontent.
meter of discontent.
Yeah.
How mad they are.
Yeah, so you have to balance those with some of the actions you do too. So, with all that, the cool second string abilities from the laws though would be like, you can have a body pit where you throw all your dead at, but then, which people don't like. But then the upgrades beyond that are organ transplant, which then helps them heal people quicker in the infirmaries. And then the next one is fertilizer, so you can use the bodies to then fertilize the crop houses and stuff. So there's systems on systems in this game. It's very cool and thematically very neat. And they even have things like scouts, and you'll go out to this macro map and send these scouts, and through the daytime hours, they'll hit these landmarks, and you can find resources that you need. You can find other survivors that you bring in, and then have to figure out how to house and feed and keep them going too. And you can make mean choices on that stuff too, like abandoning people or stealing things, and there can be downstream effects of that too. But no, it's got, I think, 3 or 4 different scenario levels. Baseline. They've got a couple more on DLC. I picked those up on Steam sale just because after finishing the first one, I knew I was going to probably tear through this thing. And an endless mode, which that's been the only time where I've been ahead of the game, and now I've got this map that looks like Disney World, and I don't have enough storage for all the materials that I'm accumulating. So.
And that's kind of where I was at with this, was that I played a little bit and I was like, oh man, that game was good. I wonder, like, I should probably go back to that. And I go back to it and then I'm like, oh right, I can't make it past like 5 to 10 minutes of this game. Like, I just can't. It doesn't work for me. I just keep getting decimated. And I told Joel, I was like, Joel, I don't know if I can keep doing this. And he's like, well, hold on, let me show you. And then he showed it to me and I made it like 30 minutes. And I was like, okay, I understand better now. But at the same time, I'm also still like at the end of the 30 minutes, instead of getting exiled by my people because they were so mad at me, everyone died.
Oh.
And so it was the main thing for me is that with city builders, you can always kind of work your way through something. Oh, I'm going to figure this out. I'm going to get some more. I'm gonna get some more. Or, I'm gonna build something that'll possibly fix my problem. And with Frostpunk, there are specific nodes for like, oh, here's where there's wood, here's where there's metal, here's where there's coal, and those eventually run out. So you need to be upgrading to get the next extractor that will extract those resources kind of essentially out of thin air, but it's further down the skill tree, so you do have to like get the resources and then start leveling them up to get to that point where you can get those things. And if you don't, you're just entirely boned. And that has one of the things that did happen to me a bunch of times was that I would mine all the wood, and I did not upgrade the wood machine. And so I am now just completely out of wood. There's no way to get ever any other wood. So I'm just entirely boned.
Yeah, I did.
And that's where I was like, I don't, like, I like it. I have
Wood
a better
machine?
understanding now. What was that?
Wood machine.
Sawmill. Yeah.
No, but then what's though you told me the one that where it just drills into the wall.
They're like wall drills. And the logic of the game gives you is, oh, well, you're drilling through ice where there's some fallen forests that you can
that's more what I meant. The wood. That's the wood machine that will get wood out of nothing.
But it's that, and then there are coal mines, and then there's steel works, and those are the persistent material generators you want to get to, because before that, if you consume everything, you're kind of boned. Even in Alex's case, if he wanted to try to salvage that, he'd have to disconstruct half of his town probably, and then you end up killing off a bunch of people. And whether through the discontent limit or just the how am I supposed to recover from this aspect, I did end up myself several times getting through a certain point, starting to see it wasn't going to go my way, and then just starting over on it. But
yeah, and that's the thing, is that for me, I love this aesthetic. I love this idea. I like the way it plays. I like the story that you're building. I just also started to see that if you don't do A, B, and C, you're boned, and then later on you have to hit H, I, J, or else you're boned. Like you boned yourself because you're like, oh wait, I built the wrong thing in the wrong spot, and I missed this other thing. And I was like, oh okay. And while that is the game, it felt very limiting to me in the beginning. And then but I still like it. I still want to play it more, just because I think that once I get that, I understand what are the things to avoid to not be completely screwed. I think that I already was playing for going from a 10 to 15 minute match that would instantly get me murdered to now, I'm going like 30 minutes and I have a little bit of leeway before everyone dies. I could figure that out too. I liked it a lot. I was liking it a lot more. I was having a lot more fun just watching Joel and then him explaining to me what exactly like things I should have been paying attention to. But that being said, I bought Frostpunk 2 on Steam while we were recording this show, and I announced it, and I have since refunded the Frostpunk 2 on Steam. So it's good. It's good. I think this might be an Alex thing of, Alex ain't great at city builders.
Fair.
Well, I learned something tonight. It's that Joel is a benevolent leader, and Alex, not great at leading people, apparently.
No, they keep exiling me. What I also thought was funny was that Joel definitely was going into like the logistics terms, like this isn't as efficient as it needs to be. We got to crank up the production here, and I was like, okay, Joel.
I need an outlet. Maybe that's why I'm getting into RTSs and base building stuff. It's just like I need something that's not quite as simple as Spyro.
Yeah, I mean Spyro could be fun. Sadly, that might be more my wheelhouse is Spyro.
That's one of my background games right now. Yeah.
Okay, I like Spyro.
Nice.
What?
We did it?
Yep.
All right. Transitioning over to our final segment of the night, One Last Thing. And this week's One Last Thing is brought to you by The Cold. It's coming.
Already is here.
It's going to get worse.
Yeah, it's getting worse.
It's supposed to be like 40 tomorrow.
I hope you've stored enough coal, Alex.
Tomorrow.
Yeah, and then it's supposed. I was told it below.
Do you have
zero
engineers for your
Oh,
infirmary?
no.
Oh, I
What about
don't.
the automatons? They better keep on mining coal during this extreme cold.
You had said that word, and I did not understand.
Automaton?
Like I understand what it means, but I did not understand what that meant in the game. You were too far advanced for me at that point.
You got robots, Joel?
You got robots.
There are robots?
They're
Yeah,
a worker robot. That's what an automaton is.
Is Frostpunk cool?
Huh?
Yeah. It's very
No,
cool.
You
should
that's
be
the thing.
ashamed
My
for
endless game.
refunding
My endless
it.
game that looks like, the Roman Colosseum or whatever. It's all run by automatons for everywhere. So everybody's just sitting inside, staying cozy and warm, and I don't have to worry much about the heat stuff.
That's amazing, Joel. Well, if you need to stay warm from the cold, we can also play some Satisfactory.
It's probably not a bad
There you
idea.
go.
Let me know.
Go play some Satisfactory with Alex. I don't know. One last thing.
I guess.
Play games. Do good. Your turn, Alex.
Play games, do drugs?
Nope. Didn't say that. I thought this was a family podcast.
Yeah, we're at 10 o'clock. That's when it... We're off the
after
rails.
dark. No, I'm having a good time playing a bunch of games, but that Marvel Rivals, woo, it's good. It's still so good. Still so good. Joel, you want to play?
No. You can go with your sit stack. That's fine.
Okay, I'll go with my 6-stack.
Joel.
Oh, I'm fighting the temptation to play Frostpunk 2. That's all. I'm gonna give myself a break, but it's calling to me.
Maybe
Reviews are
go
good.
play it. Definitely go play it. Report back.
It'll happen.
All right, Alec.
I like playing the Mega Man Legacy Collection because it's got the Steam achievements for every game that you beat. So you can see just how few people actually beat these silly games.
That's one of my...
Less than 15%
That is one of my...
of the people who have
That
it
is one of my favorite
beaten.
little things about trophies. Yeah.
Yep. Less than 15% of the people who have Mega Man Legacy Collection have beaten Mega Man 2.
Raise your hand if you've beaten Mega Man 1. Raise your hand if you've beaten Mega Man 2. Okay. Joel,
Hold
it
on.
sounds like we may have some work to do.
Do we?
I definitely purchased that on PlayStation back in the day, and I think that I made it through the original Mega Man Legacy Collection. But there's
Nice.
trophies, so I can verify.
Joel.
Those games are mean.
Yeah,
They're
they are.
real mean.
It took me 90 minutes and heavy use of the rewind feature to beat Mega
Oh,
Man
there's
2.
your problem.
Oh, it's a skill issue.
You gotta know that Getty doesn't support that. Getty's looking at you sideways now. Put your hand down. You did not beat Mega Man 1 or 2. That's how Getty feels.
It took excessive use of the rewind
cheating.
function. I'm gonna figure it out. I know that it's on here somewhere. That's fine. We'll end the episode and continue this off air. But I guess that'll do it for this week's episode of Super GG Radio. Before we go, you can find us on Blue Sky at Super GG Radio and twitch.tv/Super GG Radio, where Thursdays podcast. That's this. We are podcasting right now. All right?
Yep.
Nice.
That's how it works.
Join the chat. Get yelled at by Getty's wife.
Oh, she real mad. She big mad.
Is she in there?
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Is she yelling at people? Is she yelling
Mostly
at us?
us.
Yeah, take
That
the
makes
heat
sense.
off of us.
Yeah, she's so mad.
Yeah.
I'll send her a bunch more reels.
Please don't. She's very confused why you send her so many. We don't have any other streaming plans, do we?
Not at the moment. We're kind of in a standstill with my current situation. I think Joel and Harwig are still playing Baldur's Gate 3.
He is going back to the real world after this week, so we'll have to figure out scheduling for that for some evening sometime. But I got to crack open Sekiro, I think, and start pitching away at that.
Getty's yours installed?
I am not even allowed to play until you guys have, what was it? Played long enough to complete the game? I think that's what we agreed. Is
We're going
that
by like the how
long to beat?
you went till how long to beat and said you get to play for this many hours and then I get to start trying.
Oh, yeah. We get to play 30 hours. It's dumb. It's dumb. It's a dumb challenge. It's already installed on my PS5, so it's whenever you say so, Joel. I'm in.
All right.
Yeah. I guess. I don't know. Yep. There's a new beta breakdown by the time this episode is up. You mean posted? So by Monday probably.
I'm gonna put it up tomorrow, so which is gonna be Friday.
This episode will be up tomorrow, or the beta
this
breakdown will
episode-
be up tomorrow.
No, I said by the time this episode goes up, the beta breakdown will already be live.
So today's Thursday, and the cleaning lady, she comes on Monday. So
To sweep the dust.
yeah, because by then you'll be dust. All right, so by Monday, real time,
Just the weekend
beta
off.
breakdown will be live for Beastie Ball, and it's Alex with Chris Wilson from Backstage Gaming, right?
Yep. Pokemon meets volleyball. Let's do this. Surprisingly complex.
In a bad way.
Not for me, but I think that if you would like to do more of the idea of collecting monsters and also not the same old combat system, then yes, Beastie Ball may be for you, and the video will be live soon.
How's the soundtrack on that game?
Oh, let me tell you, that soundtrack is banging. Lena Rain, I think it is. I can always forget her name. Yeah, Lena Rain, who is a famous musician composer, has done stuff for Minecraft and a bunch of other really amazing indie games. She did the music for Beastie Ball, so it is banging.
Boom. Check it out.
She did Astrobot, she did Celeste, Chicory, Sackboy Big Adventure. She's an amazing composer. So
You know, Alex is big into Sackboy. No.
love kicking that Sackboy.
Hacky sack. All right. If you'd like to reach us with questions or input, our email address is mail@superggradio.com, and provide us a review on iTunes or the podcast app of your choice. You could also check out our Patreon, where you can get monthly pictures of our dogs, get your name read off as an executive producer, free copies of Early Adopters, and you know what? You might even get a chance to be in that six stack with Alex.
I'd allow it.
You can do it. Give us money. All right, thanks for listening, and good game, Alex.
GG Getty.
Good game, Joel.
Good game.
Good game, Alec.
GG.